Hey guys, welcome to our first video of 2025. Been slacking a bit. And when I say first, I do actually mean first because I haven't done one for the cooking channel yet. And I've definitely been slacking on the gaming channel yet. The last video they got was 6 or 7 days ago. So, which is quite the slack when it's a daily channel. I had canceled last week's video because I was, I'm just putting my watch on, because I was not feeling very good. So we're feeling better now, but like the last, I don't know, I was actually kind of feeling good on New Year's Eve-ish. You know, I had a bit of a cough still, but this last symptom has just been lingering for days. It's, you know, at the end of a cold, where you're not really stuffed up, but you feel the need to like clear sinuses, you know? Like I've had that, right? And it's such an annoying symptom to just linger for days. But, you know, so for the most part, I've been good. Just I've had this one final symptom that doesn't want to leave. So yeah. But I hope you guys had a happy holidays and a great New Year's. My apologies for not being around for New Year's. It was my first one in 8 years. For 8 years now, that's how long I've been doing videos and streams. For 8 years, every New Year's Eve, we have done like a drinking stream. But I didn't feel I could do it this year, you know. I hated to break the cycle after that long of a continuous stretch, but yeah, with all my symptoms, I didn't want to be sick Myst for you guys, you know. I like being happy go-go, you know, like the happy content creator Myst. You might notice a new calendar behind me. I'll do a little video clip that I will throw in right after my little spiel here right now. I'll record it after I record this. But yeah, I had bought both myself and my roommate new calendars. I hadn't bought a calendar since like 2022. You guys saw the old calendar. It was the Shadowlands. And yeah, because by the time they started being late with calendars at that point. They'd always been like kind of on time. And then by a time they would release a calendar, it'd be like into the year. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I don't need a calendar this year, I guess. And I figured since I always buy WoW calendars, I would buy my second favorite thing, The Simpsons. So I have a Simpsons calendar, and then I bought my roommate a D4 calendar. I'll sneak into his room when I do the little clip, and we can show you the 12 pictures, I guess. So there's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Okay, this is my roommate's, so this is the D4 calendar. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And yeah, he's really been enjoying that game. I know it gets a lot of flack, but he has a lot of fun with that game. You know, he's not like a super hardcore player, so he has fun with pretty much everything he plays because he doesn't take anything super seriously, right? Which is the way to go. Yeah, I will say I used to be like that until WoW, and nowadays I take WoW a lot less seriously, and I have a lot more fun with it because of it. But also, while we're showing separate clips, I got Mystic in front of me. She's right there, just chilling, being a little snob. But she was under the tree, which she's been really liking lately. So I took a little clip for you guys. So here's just under the Christmas tree that I still have up. And she just looks like a blob of fur right now because you can't see her eyes. Yeah, but that is Mystic. There we go. But she likes it when it's dark, so she's probably gonna move now that I turn the lights on. There's a Whomper. There she is. What a cutie. Hey girl. Hey. You want it dark again? Do you want it dark again? Okay, you can go night-night. But this is where she sneaks off all the time. Where she's at is the back of the tree. And she just likes to hang out here. And she's been napping under the tree pretty much since I put it up this year. So this might be the year we can't take it down. Because she's adopted the tree. I don't know when we're taking the tree down, you know. Usually it wouldn't be taken down by now anyway. I usually put it up, like, I put it up in December, and then I usually take it down, like, around February sometime. So I usually keep my tree up for a couple of months. But she has really liked the tree. And so a part of me is like, do I just, you know, be one of those people? Like, I already leave the lights on the porch all the time, you know, like, we're already one of those people, you know? And I leave Christmas decorations out and, you know, like, yeah. But yeah, so I've been pondering that. Yeah, so yeah. So while I was sick, I wasn't really doing a whole lot because I had lost a lot of my voice, and then even when I got my voice back, I was coughing and all that fun stuff. And I blame my roommate because I never get sick. But the past few years, it seems that he always gets sick. It's usually January, actually. So I was surprised he was, that he had a cold. He had mentioned he had a cold on Christmas Day. So that's when he got it. And then I got it a few days later. I was okay on Christmas Day. And I was pissed, right? Like, I remember the day of New Year's Eve. I was walking around this house just pissed right off because I have never missed a New Year's stream. And I take my content very seriously. I don't like when anything interrupts it. And yeah, I was literally like pissed at the world, yelling in thin air. You know, no one was around except for me and Mystic and Isis. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so for whatever reason, he's like the past few years, he's been, you know, catching something from work, I guess. usually in January, because it's usually, he usually has a couple of weeks off and then he goes back to work. But he had used a lot of sick days this year, so he didn't have as many days off as he normally would, right? So that's probably, I don't know, maybe that's why he got in. I don't know. It still doesn't make sense. He's, like all the other years he would have been at work those days as well. But nonetheless, yeah. So it's almost like I expect it, but I expect it for January, and I can tolerate, like, I don't like getting sick, but if I'm gonna catch some cold, I can tolerate it in January because January doesn't fuck up my shit. Whereas, I would say, like, the Christmas holidays kind of does. And not so much for like me and my family or anything. I'm all about content, right? So like when I think of, reasons I can't get sick, it's because I can't not do content. Like that's what I do, right? So yeah, it just kind of sucked. So while I was sick, I took advantage of it and I caught up on the Penguin, which was amazing. I've told you guys already, like I told you when I first started watching it months ago, that it was really good. But at that point there was only a few episodes. Like now it's done. Yeah, I had watched the entire series, which should, like, realistically it shouldn't be continued. One, Colin doesn't want to continue it because of the suit, right? The suit takes, he was saying, like 4 hours or something to put the suit on, and it's a lot of work to like do that every filming day, right? And the makeup and all that, and yeah. And to be fair, if I hadn't seen the video of him actually getting ready in the dressing room, I would just think IMDb is lying to us saying that's Colin Farrell, like you have to see the evidence, right? Because he is just a completely different person, right? He's in character, but like really in character. He not only does he look different, he sounds different, and he's just like a character that you can't relate to anything, right? So you can't be like, oh, that reminds me of when he played that in that movie. It's like, no, you can't do that. So you kind of have to see the video of him getting ready for that character. And yeah, so I already kind of assumed they wouldn't continue it anyway, because it was always meant to be a mini series. They had labeled it that way. They're from what I heard through like interviews back, months ago, their plan is to do it with a lot of different Batman stories, right? And they're just gonna do like a mini series, like, we got the Penguin, there'll be another and another and another, and yeah. So it was always meant to be a mini series, but Colin definitely kind of confirms it. He says he's not sure if he would. he said he could consider it, but so yeah, you gotta love when they just slightly leave the door open, right? But more or less he said that he wouldn't want to do it, but the door is slightly left open. But personally, from watching it, and I'm not going to give you guys any spoils, because it is still kind of fresh, the last episode aired in December, so, but overall, they ended it really good. I was blown away by the ending. And I would just like to say Kristen Milioti, she's the one that played Sophia Falcone. Amazing. I'd seen her work before from other stuff, but she did a really good version of that character. Yeah. I think one thing I really liked with the Penguin was that you got like you got a story of the Penguin before, you know, before Gotham and all that. And and like I had no idea he had brothers, you know. Like, yeah, and I definitely didn't know of the story of the brothers. And then you also get the story of Sophia. I feel like this isn't totally like spoiling anything, so I'm just gonna say it. It's something you find out in like I think it was like episode 3 or something. But you do find out that like the Penguin and Sophia, they were kind of friends, you know, like it was kind of a friendship turned enemy, right? And isn't that usually how it happens, right? But I was very interested in their story because they do start off like the Penguin works for her dad and basically chauffeurs her around, and like that's how their beginning is. And then shit hits the fan and things go sideways, right? But I was very interested. I liked both of their stories, so it was kind of like I don't know. At the end of the day, like, is the Penguin the bad one? For sure. For sure. You do discover that, like, yeah, he was and is the evil one, you know, but you do kind of like feel bad for him in certain parts. Honestly, the one I really sided with the most probably was Sophia, because she was legit a good girl, you know, a good girl turned bad because of bad things happening, right? And isn't that usually how it happens, right? And then also there was Renzi Feliz, I believe is his name. He's the one that played Victor, who is, hired by the Penguin, and more or less his apprentice, I guess. And his story was really kind of sad too, you know. So yeah, not gonna give too much away. And then how everything kind of goes down in the end between everyone. And yeah, I'll admit, this is definitely not going to tell you what happened. This would be a huge spoil, but those last moments of the series, I was blown away. I was not expecting that. I was kind of pissed, but not pissed because it ended badly. I think they did a very good ending. But I was just kind of annoyed with people. Let's just say that. Annoyed with decisions that were made. And yeah. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that one. Awesome show if you haven't watched it. Or if you were like me, I remember at the beginning, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for every episode and then I'll binge it. I couldn't. I was like, I waited a day. A day. And I was like, no, I gotta watch it. So it's the first show in a long time that I watched week by week. Yeah, and I like to binge all my stuff, but I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for, like, I watched it week by week. And the last time I watched a show like that was when Lost was airing on TV, which was what, like 20 years ago? Yeah, I remember back when Lost was airing on TV. I used to have friends come over and we would have like little Lost watch parties once a week, every time it aired. Yeah. Another thing I watched, this is just a movie though, so nothing that takes too much time to watch, but Trap, I'd been putting it off. It'd always be kind of staring me in the face to like watch it, but no one ever talks about this movie. The ratings on it is horrible. It's like 2.6. And so I just, the only reason I ever really wanted to watch it is because Josh Hartnett's in it, and I haven't seen him in anything in a while. I know he's been in things consistently, but you know what I mean. Like, just because he's been in things doesn't mean those are things you've been interested in watching, right? So, so I finally watched it, and it was actually pretty good. I don't know why I get such low ratings. Basically, he's bad, and that's not a spoil. Like, you know that right off the bat. He's bad. He's basically the butcher, this guy that everyone's looking for, and the FBI puts out like what they call the trap. And so they set a trap at a concert because they find out that the butcher has tickets to this concert, and it's this pop star concert. The girl is actually, well, the movie is made by M. Night Shyamalan. I might have butchered that last name, but that's how I say it. And the girl that plays the pop star, she's actually his daughter, like the M. Night's daughter. Yeah. So they go to this concert, and it's all about how to get out of the concert. They've got like every exit blocked. Like, yeah, it's all about them escaping this concert, and yeah, I don't know why they didn't, like, in the beginning, like, even later on in the movie, they're questioning why the butcher would have tickets to a pop star concert. It's like, are you stupid? Like, how do you not come to the conclusion that he probably has a teenage daughter? Like, that would be the first thing. Yeah, of course, some serial killer isn't attending a pop star concert just for the hell of it, like, obviously there's two reasons, right? Either he plans on killing the pop star, or he's there with his daughter. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good, but yeah, it got pretty crappy ratings, 2.6. I know we're already almost at time that I usually end these videos at, but I just wanted to let you guys know about that. And actually, with the extra footage added in, we probably are at 30 minutes, so my bad. The main purpose of this video is supposed to be goals and all that, so let's sneak that in. But so last year I had made goals. I make goals, actually I used to never make goals, and then I started doing content, and when I started doing more or less videos like this, which actually stemmed from my gaming channel, believe it or not. These kind of videos used to be videos that only members would see on my gaming channel. It was my member videos, and then I stopped doing those, and I just made it kind of free for all, so it's not like a paid thing to, yeah. And since I did that, that's where a lot of my my goals started coming in. Before, I just didn't even care enough. And don't mind my frizzy hair here. It's I just washed it, so it's still kind of in the process of air drying. But yeah, so for 2024's goals, I had dental was a big one, and we did dental. So I know, not if you're new, you might not have really been able to tell the difference, but these teeth here, they were chipped badly. Yeah. And then there was one here that was like decayed and like, yeah, they were noticeable. You know, if God forbid the worst thing possible happens and I can't go into a dentist, I feel pretty good about things, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I am gonna try to get into the dentist this month sometime though to do these. And then after that, pretty much all my cavities are, are dealt with. Little quick backstory, didn't go to the dentist for 20 years. Never do that. So yeah, I ended up doing a lot of work this past year. And yeah, not to say that this is the end of the work. There's actually that's why I'd like to get this one done this month, just in case finances aren't too great in following months. Who knows? Like, it's hard to predict life, right? And so yeah. After that, I've got there's like 2 back teeth that need tending, but they're root canals. So yeah, I've been holding them off as long as fucking possible. So yeah. So that was a major 2024 goal, and I am proud to say we accomplished that. The goal was never to get all the dental work done. I just wanted to start it. And honestly, I didn't think it would be as much as I have gotten done. So I'm super happy with, how we accomplished that goal throughout the year. And then the other one was the exercise, and I feel pretty confident with the exercise. It's it takes a while to get on a good routine, and I think we definitely conquered that in 2024. Have I lost all the weight I want to? Hell no. But the important part is I found a system that works, that I stick to most days. We stick to it. It's just on Sundays I like to just chill, right? So usually I will just exercise Monday to Saturday, and yeah. So yeah, I think 2024 was a great goals year. So for 2025, for 2025, it's pretty much the same goals. Exercise is still there. I want to add a little extra to the exercise. I want to start running, and I'm not looking to like run a marathon eventually or anything. I don't give a shit, but I would like to start. Like, I already do cardio, and I'd like to add running into the mix. As far as like my routine for exercise, I'm on a good one. I see no reason to swap the routine. There's the only thing that might get swapped like here and there is maybe the weightlifting, right? Because like the number one routine's my cardio. And then I do the weightlifting to just add a little strength to the mix. And then, of course, the dental, like I just said, I do have a couple of things left to do for dental. So I guess, like, if it would be nice if it just all gets done, the rest this year. Like, a good majority got done last year. I think we could probably get the rest done this year. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. I have been talking about, going to the doctor, just to get like a physical done. Another thing I've not done in 20 years. and and I don't think I made it a goal last year. I don't recall making it a goal, but I did talk about how maybe once I'm done the dental, maybe we work on the doctor thing. And so maybe we'll do that at some point this year. Okay, and as for content, you guys get the same thing, you know, like I'm just chilling, you know. Of course, it would be nice to make a living off of all the videos I do because I do more than anyone I know. But I'm okay with what happens. I'm just doing content and yeah. Yeah, as my goal has always been that you guys are enjoying it. You know, I don't need to become a millionaire off of it. I'm just doing videos for fun here. Okay, so that is basically the goals, guys. Not a whole lot, you know. As far as the exercise went, I did really good this year. Not as good as the year before, but you know how it is if maybe you don't, but you know, if you've ever tried to shed some pounds, and more specifically older, you know, age does have some, if age makes it tougher, I will say. So, you know, me personally, I never really had to lose weight for a long time in my life. Um, but, but I had started trying a couple of years ago. And the first year was me trying to find a system that worked. I was falling off all the time. Yeah, I'd exercise for a week, take a month off, exercise for a week, take a month off, you know, like, yeah, the first year was not good at all. And then the second year, I had finally found a system that worked enough to keep me kind of on track. And that kind of on track was the most weight I lost in a year because it was the beginning weight. Like, yeah, when you're first starting out, you're gonna lose massive weight, because that's your beginner weight, right? And then the third year would have been 2024, and that was, I feel like I was very back and forth. And keep in mind, I stayed on track all year. Yeah. Like, I always take a little time off during the holidays, of course, but I stayed on track all year. The only difference was that I didn't, I won't say there was no weightlifting because there always was. I just, my roommate said he wanted to exercise, so, I thought I'd add him into the mix. But I always was weightlifting. I just wasn't weightlifting from the Bowflex. I was doing it with dumbbells, right? So that was always in the mix, but I guess the difference could be that I added the Bowflex in near the end. But yeah, last year was like my first real good exercising year, which is funny because it's the least weight I lost. I know there's people that, and I think this is so stupid. Tell me if you think this is stupid, where people will be like, oh, I lost 50 pounds. But then you find out that the 50 pounds was that they lost 25 pounds, gained it back, got back to that weight, and then lost another 25 to get back. And then they consider that 50 pounds like, I do not consider that 50 pounds a loss. I'm just going to say, to me, lost pounds is whatever pounds you're under from your beginning. Like, let's say you weigh, I don't know, 150, and you go down to, like, say you weigh 150, you go down to 140, back to 150, and then back to 140, you lost 10 pounds. That's the way I see it. But I see that I've seen online that people like consider it 20 pounds because they lost it, gained it, and then lost it. Like, yeah, I don't understand that logic. Like, yeah, like I feel like they say it to make it sound good or something, But to me, it's 10 pounds. Like, yeah, just like if you lose 10 pounds and then you gain 10 pounds and then you don't lose the 10 pounds again, then you lost 0 pounds. Like, I'm sorry. Like, progress erased. Like, yeah. I do not understand why people like consider themselves to have lost all these pounds when they're right back to, yeah. So with that said, I could bullshit you guys, say I lost tons of pounds, but I'm just gonna give it to you straight, 20 pounds. Yeah, it was a lot of bouncing back and forth. Like I'd lose 10, gain 5, lose 10, gain 5, like, yeah, it was, and especially when I added weight training in. Weight training actually puts pounds on because you're starting to gain muscle, and yeah, and that was the worst part. It's like I knew that that's how it's supposed to work, but yeah, it was rough seeing pounds being added because I was weight training. Yeah. So yeah. But nonetheless, I consider it still a good year. I might not have lost like the pounds that I wanted to. But it was the first year I found a system that I like enough that I stuck with it all year, and I hadn't really found that. I'd been always on the hunt for a new workout system, and I haven't looked for one in a year because I'm just good with this one. And yeah, and it's varied enough that it's not boring, and it's exercises I like to do, and yeah, so yeah, plus there's the bike downstairs as well, so I'm probably gonna start doing more of that. I've been kind of off and on doing the indoor bike, but I think what I want to start doing is do the bike on the weight training days, and then on the non-weight training days, then I'll do like the running that I was saying. And it's not gonna be like a whole lot of running. Let's be real, I haven't ran in years, so it's gonna be a little mediocre at the beginning, working our way to it. But I thought, like, I don't know, 20-30 minutes a day should be okay. Well, we'll see. Might have to start at like 15. We'll see. Yeah. And yeah, and that's pretty much that's all I got. Yeah. Yeah. If it weren't for exercise and dental, we would probably have no goals. Like like yay for bad habits, I guess, right? Because if I hadn't been sitting on my ass editing content for 8 years to where I finally gained some weight, and then deliberately didn't go to a dentist for 20 years, yeah, our only goal would be continue making content. But yeah, anyway, it's long enough. So that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what some of your goals are. I guess I got a third that I will sneak in. I am in the middle of a career change, so there's that. I'm still like undecided of what that career change is though, so yeah. Still undecided, but there is that. So I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what some of your goals are if you have some. I used to, like I said before, I used to never make them. One of the biggest reasons is because it's such a letdown if you don't accomplish them. But one thing I have noticed is I always accomplish them. You know, maybe making them motivates you to accomplish them. I don't know. I don't know. I always thought it would suck if you didn't actually accomplish them, but you know, I guess in a sense, like, I didn't really accomplish the exercise. I just, in my mind, am good with the results. But if you really think about it, like, the goal was to lose like 50 pounds. Yeah. That was the goal, because I'm trying to get back to my 25-year-old self. I don't even know if that's possible, you know. like I might be trying to do something that's like not even like I'm 20 years older. Like maybe I can only lose so much weight, you know? Like yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But nonetheless, we could still lose. We could still lose some. So yeah. So yeah, that's my goals for 2025. So pretty much everything you've been seeing on the channel will, you know, you'll still see that. I think because I'm gonna go a little more heavy with the exercise this year, with adding running in and all that, it's really tough to like keep up content while doing that. And what makes that tough is streams. So I'm not quitting streaming, but I think it's safe to say streams will be kind of whenever I feel like it, just because of me trying to accomplish things in my life as well. Yeah, so they won't be done, but it's a lot easier for me to do videos around all this than it is to like stream for 6 hours, you know? Yeah. So the streams may get a hit at some points. Let's end this before I ramble anymore. I hope you have a great week and happy 2025. Hopefully it is a great one for you. And here's to us spending it together. Bye, guys.